Hello, welcome to the Joe Chest.
Are you gorilla?
No, just a little spazzy. Hello, people. Welcome back for another installment of the Lost Mines of Phandelver. Phandelver, whatever. Phandelin's the name of the city, town, thing. And we're going to pick up on, I believe this is part 7. Hard to believe in the amount of time that I spent doing only about half of this story. A lot of people already have this whole story done. And there's so much more opportunity for role play and history and just more in-depth character building that is just sadly never exploited, I guess would be the right word. So, characters are still all level 3. My brisk dog is in my way. And where they left off, they had just finished going through the Red Brand's hideout, taking care of pretty much all of the Red Brands, and talking to Kellen or Quellen or whatever her name is, a little half elf or halfling, I should say.
I think it was Caroline.
Rescuing the mother and daughter that were taken and held captive. Talking to Sildar, letting him know what happened to Yarno. And managed to accumulate 941 experience while doing so for each of the characters. And did you add the 941 experience to your character sheet?
Mm-hmm.
Cilantro.
No, it's actually Spanish moss.
That evening, your wizard was transcribing a few spells, attuning in the magic item, and just all around relaxing for that evening and not doing much. However, Tybalt does...
We forgot a crucial part of roleplay.
What?
My character sheet.
Yes. That evening, though, while your character is relaxing, Tybalt is going to look over at you.
Be careful not to hit down.
Gotcha. As he's taking a big drink of his ale, munching on some food. One problem's down, but we still got another one to do. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
That sword. If we can't find the rightful heir to it, I wouldn't mind actually having it.
Okay.
I could bond it to me as my pact weapon.
Okay. Why do you seem so timid about asking this?
Not timid, Tybalt. Because expensive items like that generally are the consensus of the group that found them. You're okay with it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep holding on to it then.
I think Jason would be okay with it too. It's not like he would use it.
He's a wizard. One of the last things he'd use. So what's the play for tomorrow? You said you know where these ruins are?
Yeah. I'm saying we grab the horses that Sildar said we could use if we needed them. Gunburn's horses.
Yeah.
I claim the smart one.
That's right. I like the one that likes to eat.
So the quiet, timid one goes to Jason?
Sure. You can get us there quickly?
Mm-hmm.
I take it we'll be going cross country? It'll be much, much faster.
There's a fairly wide river, though, that we may have some trouble with horses.
Your character knows it's on the other side? Mm-hmm. River's on the other side of the thunder tree. You don't have to worry about it.
Yes, but still make sure they don't go into the river, swept away. Horses
It's
meander
miles.
when you jump off.
It's miles away.
Okay, because the last time I was there, you said it was like right next to it. Or am I off?
You're off because you were here. You had to cross the river and then go down some. That's a good 3 miles away from the river. And this is the reason why it takes so much time, is because you have to go cross country following the river to get to Thundertree, on top of going up, over, up along the road to here, as opposed to just doing this straight north.
Around the trees.
Yeah, hug the tree line until you see Thundertree. And your character knows where it is, considering your
My
group.
grove is in
Your grove
that woods up the top.
is up in here.
It doesn't mean there wouldn't be some of my druids down there.
Oh yeah, the whole druid conclave that your character's part of encompasses the Neverwinter Woods.
So I probably know the woods inside at the back of my hand.
Most of the woods. There's always going to be a few spots you don't know perfectly, but the parts that you know the best is north of the river. From about here, let's just zoom down here like this. The ones you know the best, because here's the river. This is where your conclave is. So from this part here, your character knows the best. This part here, your character knows, but not the best.
I'm just gonna drink a little pop because mine's not open. That's cold. Can't drink that crap.
Yeah, my pop's always cold. How early of a start should we get tomorrow? You hear from Tybalt?
Depends on Jason. Oh, did my character successfully get the ink for Jason?
Yes, that's all
Okay.
been dealt with. A little later that night, whenever Jason has done attuning to the staff, Tybalt's done attuning to the sword, which he actually doesn't need to, but he has to attune to it to make it his pact weapon. And
Okay.
Jason is done transcribing his spells.
I'm handing out a pouch to him.
What's this?
Your leftover gold.
I have leftover gold. Excellent. I'm having a great day. Thanks.
Which one of the two quiet horses do you want? I already claimed this intelligent one, and he wants the fat one.
One that's quick. You see him pull out the pipe that you guys made for him.
You like that thing, huh?
I'm a wizard. Of course I like a nice pipe. Packs it with some of his tobacco. You want to smoke?
Mm-mm.
You should smoke the weed. It's nice. He reaches over to the candle, brings it over, lights it.
It's gonna sound weird, but I don't know where you got that from.
Neverwinter, from a general store run by a dwarf.
Yes, well, there's plenty of different types of plants that are smokable in the woods. So when we go through the Neverwinter Woods, you can bet your ass I'm gonna be picking some.
I hear that halfling pipe weed is the best. That's what I hear, at least.
Which one is that? Is that the hempen weed?
No, I'm
Is
not
it
sure.
the nicotinus?
The nicotinous stuff, not the stuff that alters your perception and mind.
So that's the best stuff.
Yes, and I'm a wizard. I refuse to take that stuff. A wizard without his cognitive senses is a wizard that's not going to be a wizard for very long.
In that case, we're on the road. Don't eat anything without asking me what it is.
I've been well trained and versed in the fact that a drunk wizard is a dead wizard. A wizard with his senses muted is a dead wizard. Simply put, if I don't have my brain about me, how can I make sure I'm making the right decision at the right time with the right spell? Will not do it. Unless I'm at a point where I know I'm perfectly safe and we have no pressing matters to attend to, no intentions on ever getting inebriated.
So, since we're going up to Thundertree, I'd really like to warn my grove.
Warn them about what you hear from Jason?
Rydolph, what he's done to this city. That he's out.
You mean the lack thereof?
Yeah. I want to go back. First off, see if my friend has left yet because he said he'd wait for me. He's going to wait a few weeks. And it's been a fortnight and a half.
You probably would have left by now then.
I might see him on the road. He was busy laying one of the only other female elves in the group.
Well, we still need to find Gundren. We can't afford too much of a delay. How long would it take to get to your Grovestead?
With the horses? A day or two, max. And considering we have the horses, and I'm saving you a shit ton of time.
The horses will save us time as well as going cross country, which you can enable us to do. Otherwise, we'd have to meander around and search aimlessly. My only concern is the longer we wait, the less likelihood Gundren's going to stay alive.
It's gonna sound mean, but
getting into your grove would allow us to stay hidden from Black Spider's scouts and spies.
and give us a good night rest for when we don't have to all take shifts. I can easily ask one of my friends to guard us.
I'd be okay with getting in, staying the night, and then leaving the next day.
Yeah, that's all I need. It'd also get us some good food.
I'd be okay with that. You hear from Tybalt. Well, then it's settled. We'll get the horses first light. We'll head out, go across country, find these ruins, find this waste of a man that you both know about, and then get up into Thundertree, or past Thundertree into the woods. Isn't there a giant river there, though?
Yeah.
How are we going to cross it?
There's a couple small spots. And the river does go up into the woods, where there's inevitably fallen trees and stuff.
Okay, so we could follow the river and then find a cross point.
Someplace inside.
That works.
There's lots of paths that you can take the horses on. You just might have to get off and lead them a few times.
That works.
So we have Sildar with his horse and the dwarf fat ass and his pony could hang out in the main center of my grove.
And that means there's ways in. Alright, that works. You hear from Jason. So first thing in the morning then? That looks fucking awesome. That looks really nice.
I concur.
How long do you expect it's going to take for us to get there?
2-3 days, depending on how we make time.
Is that on foot or with the horses?
With the horses.
That's on foot.
I said depending on time. 2-3 days.
Alrighty. Good.
Like, max. We'll probably make better time, but I don't know what weather we're going to come across. And how many times we're going to have to go into the woods.
Do you have any spells that could increase our speed?
I think I have one that increases mind speed, but not overall.
And even if you did, would you be willing to cast it? Because your magic would be important for any issues that we might come across with Black Spider spies.
Although I do have something that would let us cross the river.
What's that?
It lasts up to 1 minute. And as long as you're quick, 150 feet. And it prevents us from sinking through it. Over anything that we would normally sink in. Water, sand.
What do you mean? What's the spell called?
Feather step.
A book?
BULS.
It doesn't cover for water.
It says walk over anything.
It's not an exact. I can't write every little inch of the spell in it. It's just a quick thing. Becomes able to step lightly across snow, leaves, earth, loose sand without sinking or breaking the leaves.
Okay, it's not than anything. It is organic matter.
Well,
Okay, never mind. You wouldn't have said that because I didn't know.
that's not a big deal. Well, we'll have to just go into the woods then here from Tybalt. Find a cross point there. What's your character going to do for the remainder of the night?
How much mana do I have left? Enough.
What are you trying to do?
Oh, I wanted to cast a second level spell, but I only have 2 mana.
Yeah, you're off. You don't have enough.
And there's no way in this game to meditate to get mana back.
Nope, that's what wizards can do. That's a house rule I use in 3rd edition.
Would you want more like this?
1 or 2 more.
I can usually tell you what the forecast is every morning by looking.
What do you mean?
Druids just kind of inherently know if it's going to be a nice day or not.
Good. Well, Tybalt's going to go up and get some sleep for the remainder of the night. What's your character doing?
I mean, go down and get some sleep because we ain't going back up again.
What's your character doing?
Sort through my spells and sleep.
The next day is going to be shitty. You wake up to it raining. And with a quick nature check, make a nature check for me.
Where did my there? That's where my dice went. Yay! Farter.
Yes, I am farting. Live on camera!
Point.
It's going to rain all day, and it's going to be thundering as well. Thunder and lightning.
How befitting.
It'll be at least sometime tomorrow before the rain stops.
Okay, guys, we don't want to waste time, right?
Well, you're just woken up. No one else is around you at the moment.
Go in. Knock on Jason's door.
It's open.
Walk in.
He's just studying his spell book.
It's raining.
I saw.
It's gonna thunder.
Is it?
It won't stop till tomorrow. Kind of befitting, since considering we're going to the Phandelver ruins. I take it as a god's mention that we're going in the right direction.
That's one way to take it. Complicate things, I think.
I say we leave now. Bed early before it gets too dark, and we'll bed just inside the forest edge.
I need to finish with my spells. Tybalt's already up.
Is he?
He's getting the horses ready.
I'm gonna go buy some feed.
Where's your character going to go?
Bartham's.
Not open.
Any place open?
Nope. People are just waking up and having breakfast.
Alright, then I'm not gonna camp outside Bartham's. Because the horses are behind there, so Tybalt's there.
Tybalt has the horses outside where you guys are.
Oh, we already got them from Bartham's?
Yeah, you don't know when though.
When did you do that?
Last night.
When?
Last night, I left the inn, went over to Barthen's, grabbed the horses and the saddles and everything else we would need, and came back.
Do you have feed?
They can graze. That's what horses do, isn't it? They graze. I take it with the rain pouring that's a no, they don't like to graze. We're just going to be going for 2 days. They can graze for 2 days, can't they?
I'm not risking it. I'm getting a bag of feed.
We need to leave now, don't we?
Fine. Walk over, knock on Bartham's door.
You don't know where he lives.
No, I know, but sometimes people stay in the shops overnight.
Sometimes they do. Let's find out if he is. Nope.
Damn it. Is the door open?
Nope.
Damn it. Okay, going over to wherever the horse stands are.
They're not there yet. The sun just got up.
Yes, I know, but I can still go over to where they are normally.
Yes, and they're not there at the moment.
Where's the feed trough?
You can find it. It's not hard.
I saw the empty bags from when we had feed before.
Yep.
I'm filling it.
Thief!
Taking out a piece of my parchment, writing a note.
I owe you 3,000 individual grains.
This equivalent bag of grains usually sells for $1.50. Here's 2 gold. In the grain bin, so that when they open it and see if there's a good chunk missing, they see the note on top, so it doesn't get drenched.
When you get back, you can see Tybalt's out there. He's got his jacket on. He's got his hood on.
Got it.
His cloak, I should say, with the hood is up. Chiron from Tybalt. It's going to rain all day.
And thunder later.
Well, at least the thunder will mask our approach.
I say once it starts to get dark, at the very start of sunset, we need to book it into the trees. Get some cover.
Assuming we're at the tree line? Sure.
We'll be at the tree line.
Alright.
I'll make sure we're at the tree line.
A few moments later, you see Chasen come out.
You have a hood?
Pulls the hood up on his cloak.
Not all cloaks have hoods.
Mine does. Holding his glass staff, you see his other staff is just attached to a strap on his back.
Can I have my quarterstaff back?
Tybalt gives it to you.
Thank you. Well, around lunch when we stop for food, when the sun's high, I'm gonna go pick us some stuff.
Let's get a move on. It's going to be a long trip to get to the Thunder Tree.
I'm telling you now, if I spot any fiddleheads, mushrooms that crop up because it is raining, worms that are sticking up because it's raining, and basic roots, wild radishes, wild potatoes, raspberries, any of that sort, I am going to pull over for 10 minutes and go, hey guys.
That's fine. Considering it was going to take you 27 and a half hours on foot, with the use of horses, which are twice as fast as you are, we can cut that tally in half. 27.5 divided by 2, we're looking at 13.75 hours. So,
we're literally going to bed down right before we hit it.
yeah. So after, it's a 13-hour trip.
And we're going to only go for, say, 11 hours.
And you're leaving at first light. So by the time you get to noon, that's about, oh God, 6 hours of travel. Yeah. And you're going from here to here.
So we're right in
6 hours puts you about here.
Yep.
And that's around noon.
Looking over the guys, we're making better time than I suspected. We're not hitting any snags.
I do need you to make
hitting a tree.
I do need you to make a survival check though, to stay en route because you are going cross country, and you don't want to end up slightly going on an angle like this.
Yeah, we'd still get there. Just I'd see the river and go fuck.
1 degree spread over 25 miles puts you really far off course.
22.
22. You can do your first day, or first half of your day fine. Can I get one more check for the second half of the day?
20.
More than enough. You can stop for lunch without a problem. The rain hasn't let up, but you do hear the occasional clap of thunder around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when you've been traveling for about 8 hours. You're about 5 hours away, give or take, from what you know the location of Thunder-Tree is, when you actually can make perception checks.
Wisdom?
Just your passive perception.
13.
13. Tybalt will not notice it. However, you, as well as, of course, Chasen, both do. You're about, this was 6 hours. Mm-hmm. You're about, here roughly. You got about another 5 hours to go, give or take.
Did I find anything for food?
Oh, yeah. If you're a fucking druid, that's part of what the survival check is for, is you can easily find food. What you see, walking cross country like you, because this is a hill area, it's not forested. Yeah. As you can see, it's just like the occasional tree here and there, and it's just mainly grasslands and hills. You can see another person walking in the direction. To him, it would be the equivalent of like a northeastern direction. He's heading for this junction. Now, you can't tell if he's heading for where the river intersects with the Neverwinter Woods, or if he's heading for the ruins. Either way, based on his current trajectory, he's going to intercept because you guys are about here, and he's walking like this. You are going to cross paths eventually. You'll get ahead of him.
Would I recognize him as Rydolph, or am I too far away?
Because of the rain, his appearance is difficult to make out with details. He does look human. You can't judge his age. Based on his attire, though, he could very well be a druid. He doesn't have much in the way of clothing on. He seems to have a center girdle on. Looks like a standard loincloth to cover his groin. Big, heavy fur boots and calf guards and such. And one arm is completely covered in what looks like, from your distance, furs. And weapons on him, from what you can tell. Not wearing a cloak, not wearing a hood, just letting the rain pour over him, much like what a druid would not have an issue with. But he is heading to intercept with you guys, despite the fact you guys are on horses.
Are we intercepting this way, or is he coming down?
No, he's heading towards
same
here.
Direction we are.
But because you're on horseback, you'll end up ahead of him, but he's basically heading in the same direction you guys are. He's just a couple 100 yards off to the side.
I'm looking at Chasen. We're going to work the horses here and catch up to him.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Okay. Yeah!
Everyone will start heading towards the guy?
Yeah. I'm preparing a spell on horseback.
What spell are you writing?
Readying. If I don't use it, I don't lose it, right?
Basically, it's just a ready to action. You don't lose it.
Okay, so pummel.
If he does something, you tell me what.
Pummel.
And what is the circumstance?
If I see him go to cast, like I see that spark of magic start in his hand, I'm releasing it.
So if he goes to cast a spell.
Gotcha. Or if he charges at my horse with a weapon.
As you guys start charging towards him, you do see him quickly turn and pivot towards you, with a speed too fluid and fast for a person of Rydell's age. And as he pivots, he draws a shield and an axe and takes up a defensive position because you're three people on horseback charging him. He doesn't charge you, he just takes up defensive position. As you get closer, you can see he's got like long brown hair draping over his face, making his vision a little bit on the harder side to see. The one arm that's covered in the furs is actually not covered in furs. It's covered in scales, like scale mail armor, just covering and protecting one limb. He's got the girdle on like you saw, the heavy boots like you saw, but very, very scruffy face, maybe early 20s at the most, human in race, and does not look like a druid, but looks kind of like one of the barbarians of the area that you were told that live in this region.
Oh.
As well as underneath the padding and the strappings, you can see on his chest there is tattooing, which is the other reason why you believe, because you were told only the barbarians that are north of Phandelver do tattooing. You just see him look up over at you guys. You do not want to attack. It would be unwise. As he's holding the axe up in a shield. And your character knows as well as everybody else. Your magics, you'll win, but one of you will die.
Or at least go down.
Shielded fighters are very dangerous to take down. Look at the trouble you had with Bazant. This guy's even half that trained, one of you will drop.
You're not who we thought you were.
Who did you think I was?
Rydell.
Who is Rydell?
A piss-ant druid that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
You hear from Jason. Lower the shield and I will not.
Where are you headed?
I am a dragon hunting.
The horse is backing up a little bit. Because you know how you squeeze a horse's...
Yeah.
Jason just sees it on my horse.
You just see him look towards you. You have nothing to fear. I'm not hunting dragonborn. I am dragon hunting. There is a large green dragon.
What? Where?
Brings the shield back down. Puts the axe back into his sheath on his hip. Throws the shield over his back.
Where?
That way. As he points towards the nook that he was heading towards.
The ruins? How do you know there's a dragon over there then?
I've been hunting it.
You scared it into that location?
No. Tail's just like... Tail starts to twitch. Then what did you do? Nothing. Twitch, 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 twitch on his tail.
Tracking it?
Yes.
Looking at Tybalt.
Why didn't you just say that? You didn't ask.
He's a barbarian, Tybalt.
And? He knows how to talk.
Yes, but
And
they
you
don't...
see him look over at Tybalt.
They don't talk unless they have to. They solve battles with weapons, usually.
You can see Jason kind of leans forward on his horse. What proof do you have of this dragon? Rumors, or have you actually seen it? I have seen it. It comes out every few days to hunt. Every time it comes to hunt, I get closer to finding its roost.
It's hunting awful frequently for green dragon. Must be young.
Alright, you hear from Jason. Why are you hunting a green dragon? By yourself.
Probably a quest or something.
He just nods his head. You hear from Tybalt. Okay. What are the odds of the dragons at the Thundertree ruins?
Here, I'll figure it out. Looking at the guy. Turn around. I'm gonna go into the woods. Track me. We're gonna get Jason. If he finds me, then there's a dragon.
What do you mean? Jason looks at you.
I'm a druid. I'm hard to track.
Yeah?
Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna hop down off. Pass my reins to Tybalt.
You just see this guy start walking towards that nook again.
Are you gonna give me a chance?
Chance for what?
I want you to try and track me.
Why?
Just see how good you are at tracking. Just don't shoot me.
I'm not a tracker.
You said you were tracking.
I am.
That makes you a tracker.
I'm not. I'm confused to hear from Tybalt. When it leaves its roost to hunt, I can see it. When it lands, I have an idea of where it's landing. I walk in the direction of where it lands until I see it again. It landed in that direction. I've not come across anything yet that it could roost in.
Probably means ruins or the cave or the entrance of the woods where the river meets the woods meets the river.
I don't know anything about dragons. You hear from Jason. Specifically green dragons, I don't know where they tend to make their roosts.
Considering his lineage, would he know green dragons have acid?
Yes, I'll give you that.
I don't know.
Actually, it's a poisonous gas.
Yeah, but still, it's an acidic gas, poisonous gas.
So I am walking in that direction until I find it. I killed my tribe. I will kill it.
All of it?
Except for my cousin.
And your cousin is where?
Left.
Still where your tribe is?
I don't know. He did not want to hunt it.
So he's dishonored you.
Help me or continue on your own way. As he continues to start walking towards that direction.
Okay, well, we're all going in the same direction, so...
Tybalt leans over. If there is a dragon in the ruins,
Yeah,
we're going to need all the help we can get. Even if we ditch him afterwards.
Do you want to ride my horse?
Temporary allegiance would be fine with us, you hear from Tybalt. If there is a dragon there, you're going to need our help as much as we're going to need yours. Because if that dragon is on our path, we need to get through it.
You can take the dragon, you can take the hide, you can take whatever you want.
I want his blood as my bathwater.
Okay. I don't know where we're going to find bath out here, but okay.
You see him walk over to your horse.
Tybalt, do you want to get on mine and give him yours, or do you want to give him mine?
Let him get up on yours. You're a spellcaster. This will also free over your hands.
You don't mind riding double?
Mm-mm. There's a set of ruins not far from here.
No, Tybalt riding double.
No, not at all. You can see
Then
this guy jump up on it.
Swinging up over Tybalt's horse.
In that direction is a set of old ruins.
God
It
damn it.
may be there.
Yeah, I know. Thundertree ruins.
There's a river behind it that leads into the woods. If he's not there, he might be in those woods. I know this region.
Me too.
How well?
I'm a druid from that grove.
I know every nook.
I'm not that well.
If there's buildings or settlements anywhere, I know it. Jason looks. Do you know of an old castle? Yes. Do you know where this castle is? Yes. He starts to move the horse towards the ruins.
What is talk and walk?
Can you show us or tell us where this castle is? It's in the southern part of the Neverwinter Woods.
You mean that edge we just passed?
5 miles from the woods. Go to the southernmost tip. Enter the woods. Travel north about 5 miles. From there you'll be able to find the castle that you seek. It's ruined. It's not in stable shape. That was easy. Where were you yesterday?
You know you're gonna get a straightforward answer. Walking in this general direction from over
He just
there.
looks walking on the plains, finding food. All right, let's continue.
Why are you so stressed?
Jason's just like, it's so difficult to talk to these people.
No, it's not.
That's basically what he is. Great axe on his back, or sorry, a great axe on his back, battle axe on his side, a hand axe on his other side, a couple javelins on his back.
So axe, javelin.
Axe, 4 javelins, a great sword, and a shield.
Oh, what would I have found, by the way?
I don't know.
Considering it's raining, probably mushrooms.
You would know what you would find better than I would.
When do we want to hunker down for food? I've been collecting along the way.
Tybalt looks. We're making good time, right?
Yeah. Really good time.
Whenever the sun sets. And then we can hit Thunder-Tree shortly after first light.
If we go to Thunder-Tree late, there's a good chance it'll get struck.
But it'll also give us cover in case there's anything there.
The trees will give us cover. The trees will not get struck. Thunder-Tree will. I think it's got its name.
Alright, then let's hunker down in the woods tonight after the sun sets and reach Thunder-Tree tomorrow morning.
Looking over at the barbarian. You okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Have you eaten?
Yes.
Long ago?
No.
What time?
Few candle marks. Alright. The rest of the day goes by for the most part uneventful, other than rain, thunder. And you're only 3 hours, well, 3.5 hours away from Thunder-Tree by the time you guys stop for the night. So you're basically like stopping. What about here?
Yep.
Like, it's not gonna be long to get there.
Yeah, we
So
can pretty much
easily,
see it.
You can easily just duck into the tree line to give yourselves cover.
I'm grabbing my winter blanket.
But you do see Chasen, as well as you, spot something on one of the trees about a couple 100 feet up. It's a sign nailed to one of the trees.
I got it. I'm screwing up the tree.
No, it's at head level.
Oh, you said a couple 100 feet.
Yeah, a couple 100 feet
said,
up.
No, but you said up a couple. I thought you meant up, like it was on a
No,
redwood or
like
something.
down the road a couple 100 feet, you see a sign has been.
That's ahead.
Ahead, whatever, nailed
Up,
to a tree.
Ahead. Up. Ahead. Up. Ahead.
It's simple. It's written in 2 or 3 different languages. Some of the languages are a little bit worn off from the rain and from just time, but you see in Common, you see in Dwarvish, and you see in another language that looks like Elvish script, but it's partially damaged and worn away. You see it just says, really simply, danger. Plant monsters and zombies in this area. Turn back.
Does it mean ahead of it or all around?
It just says in this area.
Guys.
Well, they're a couple 100 feet behind you.
Guys.
Tybalt looks down, helps you up onto the horse.
No. We're backing up.
Why?
We're backing up at least another mile.
Why?
Zombies.
Okay. Zombies can't be that tough.
I got taken down by 3 and I almost died. Remember when I came in, I was all bandaged?
Yeah.
Yeah. One comes, they come in a horde.
Alright, we'll back up a few miles.
At least a mile.
You see the barbarian hops off the horse.
Are you going still that way?
Yes. Thank you for the conversations. As he starts walking again, Jason's just sitting there going, oh my. You're infuriating, he says over to your character.
We have gotten stronger since I last encountered zombies. What do you want to do?
Night gives us cover. But with the
Zombies
thunder,
come out at night.
either way we have benefits and drawbacks. You can stop and he looks behind.
Give us a second. We might follow.
Takes his battle axe off of his hip. It's just a standard leather frog that you just hook the blade head into. And you take it out. Turns it around, puts it down, kneels, takes a knee, and just kind of sets his chin on his hands.
Why don't we bed just in here then? For the night. A little bit ahead of the sign. Pray we don't get anything.
Set up watches.
Yeah, I'm looking at him. You okay with that?
I can agree with that. Tibble goes, alright.
Tibble, can you pass me the rope that we used to tie up Bassam?
Passes you the 20 feet of rope.
Cutting it in a couple places. Sorry, I'll get you new rope if you need it.
No. Tibble goes over into the side, pulls out from his backpack a whole heap of twine and bells.
That'll be good in a minute. I'm scurrying up a tree and with my winter blanket, tethering one corner of it to the tree. Going to another tree, I'm pulling tight and tethering that corner. So I'm making it like a roof. So we don't get rained on.
Yeah. You
Go
see
down
your
bedroll.
barbarian friend starts to go around and collects food. You see him actually catch a couple small rodents as well. Squirrels. Rips off some bark, brings in some water as well.
I'm looking around for hares. Because I know I caught a bunch right around here before.
Yep. Between you and the barbarian, you can easily catch enough food. The barbarian is almost as good as a druid, if not a little bit better than an average druid at finding food and water.
I'm looking at him. How do you normally gut those things?
You just see it start to squeeze all the piss out of it. Starts to squeeze, breaks its back, squeezes more.
By a druid, weren't you?
Squeezes more, breaks its back, does one final squeeze, and you see all the guts pop out of its ass.
You were so taught by a druid.
Barbarian clan. You're nomadic.
Wait.
Hush the organs is...
Grab. Some of these are still edible.
See him takes out his little hand axe, digs the bottom of the axe into the hair and just starts to slice. Makes a small little cut and then just starts to pull the skin off.
Hey, Tybalt.
Yeah?
Turning the thing. Push all the urine out of it, obviously. Turn it. Tybalt, come here for a second.
Come on. Walks over.
Look at this.
What?
Pop!
Holy God! There's something wrong with that demon hair. That's not normal. It looks like a giant just sat on a human. I want to love you and brush you and call you George. The hell did you do to it?
I gutted it.
Quickly. You'll hear from the barbarian as he finishes ripping the skin off of one of the hairs.
I'm not even using anything. I'm just using my fingers to tear around the legs.
Dusts the skin into his girdle so it hangs off the side of it.
Tybalt, hold these legs.
He does.
Food.
What?
Not yet.
Jason goes around, collects as much branches as he can.
Make sure they're dry as possible.
Simply done. Firebolt. Firebolt. Now that they're dry, Firebolt. Woof. You see the barbarian grabs a stick, stabs it through the ass of the other one, puts it on the spit.
You want to give me a hand with something?
Mm.
Go get as many fiddleheads as you can in Wild Earth.
He starts to go and collect some of the herbs and such.
I'm taking the stems out of the mushrooms and stuffing them in the rabbit.
You hear from Tybalt, I am so glad I met you.
Why?
Because I eat better meeting you than most royalty does. Oh, praise the druid.
I'm cramming the mushroom stems up the rabbit, along with some of our bread from our rations, effectively making it stuffing. And when it starts to actually drip some of the rendered down fat, taking it, mixing it in. When he comes back, mixing the herbs he has with the rendered fat and the fiddleheads, and stuffing the mushroom caps, and putting them in a pot and setting them over the fire.
Tybalt has a pot on his backpack. Standard
pot.
adventurer kit. Your wizard is just sitting there smoking, watching.
Got enough mushrooms to do us each 3 mushrooms, because you know those big fucking mushrooms you can get?
Yep.
Like portobello, but they're the wild ones. Not technically portobello, I forget what they're called.
I'm running out of pipe weed. Is all you hear from the wizard? Well,
The mushroom.
oh, that looks good. That's really good. See the barbarian goes over, grabs a piece of the rabbit's leg, takes his hand axe,
Careful, there's stuffing in it.
cuts the leg off.
Is it done?
Mostly.
I prefer my rabbit done a little bit more than that. Trying to spit.
He just starts to eat. Tybalt just goes over and grabs another leg. You guys can have a uneventful night, thankfully. Jason does look over at the barbarian, though, after everyone's done eating.
I'm going to look when
Can
he's
I
doing
ask
that.
you a personal?
When he's doing that, I'm going around in the vicinity so I can still hear them talking, but purposely looking for either tobacco or weed.
Survival check. The wizard looks at the barbarian. Can I ask you a personal question? Barbarian looks carefully. What is your name?
24.
You can find some tobacco leaf. You can find a pretty big patch of it because it all grows together, right?
Yeah, usually.
It hasn't been dried or cured or anything,
It
but
won't take long with the fire we have.
it takes long. To properly dry tobacco leaf takes
No,
about a week.
To dry some of it, not properly. Just enough for him to be able to smoke it.
No, it takes about a week to dry it properly. I am Uthgrim.
Grim.
As you see him takes the strapping that he has here, which is part of what the great axe is held onto, moves it to the side, and you can see the black tattoo of a wolf head on his chest and shoulder that seems to go down his arm as well, but is covered by the scales that he uses on that arm as he puts the strapping back on and puts the belt buckle back through it.
Whoa. Grim like the dog that kills people?
Does your character have knowledge of nature?
Yeah.
Make a nature check.
18.
Mm-hmm. Enough. I am called Uthgrim.
Like the dog that...
That's why I chose this tattoo. All of my tribe has at least one tattoo.
Was there an elf from your tribe?
We do not deal with elves.
This guy had tattoos that looked like arrows right here. Said his face had a huge birthmark on it, but I could never tell. He never took off the mask. He said he was an elf, but he looked like a half elf at best.
Does not sound like anyone from our tribe.
So he must be from the Seafaring Edge.
rest of the night goes by uneventful, unless you're doing anything specific.
Starting to dry the weed.
That'll be ready to go just as I finish what I already have. You hear from Jason. Where'd you find it?
Over there.
Great. He goes over, grabs some more, stuffs it into his backpack.
Wait, whack!
What?
You're overpicking the plant. Do you want it to grow back?
I don't know if I'm going to be back in this area. What?
Last time you got distracted by something pipe-related, we got attacked. Sit down.
He sits, continues smoking his pipe.
Just because you may not be back here doesn't mean other people won't be back here that might want some of it.
I don't think of it that way.
You should.
Barbarian's just sitting there staring at the fire, eating, drinking. Unhooks the greatsword from his back, because you can't draw greatswords from your back, because you don't have the reach in your arm. It's held on just with nothing more than a piece of folded metal like this, in the shape of that.
I know what you're talking about.
So that way you just take your sword, put it over, until you hear the blade click in, and then you drop it, and the guard is what actually holds it onto your back. And because of the way it's angled, sure, if you go too far to your left, or if you dip yourself too far forward, it's going to fall off you, but it's going to have to go pretty far forward for it to slide off your back before when you stand up it slides right back down. It's just basically meant so you don't have to hold on to it like with your hand on your shoulder the whole time you're walking. It's the only way you can really conveniently carry a greatsword on your back. Because then you just have to reach up like this, pull up a little bit to loosen the blade from the hook, move it to the side so it comes out of that little forge hook, and then you can take the blade around and then back out. Proper traditional sheaths and greatswords were never used. You see that in any type of medieval fantasy pictures, games, or anything, that's a fallacy. Greatswords were carried. They were never sheathed. They were sheathed. They were never drawn without you specifically taking it like this to get the maximum possible extension. Same as drawing from your back was never done with stagnant or with stationary back sheaths. They had to be mobile so that way you could pull down on one side and up on the other side so you could actually draw it. Sorry, history lesson for the people that end up watching this.
If anybody ever watches it.
I'm sure they will. Just have to give it time. One view leads into two views. Two views lead into four views. Excuse me.
No.
So, what are you doing for the rest of the night?
Not a fun of a lot. Taking shifts.
The night goes by uneventful. You pick up the next morning. And you start heading towards Thunder-Cherie. As you get a little bit closer to Thunder-Cherie ruins,
I'm assuming I've made a stew out of leftover rabbit bones meats. Stuffing.
The rain is starting to taper off. Looks like sometime this afternoon it'll actually stop. But as you get a little bit closer to the Thunder-Cherie ruins, or at least where your character knows they should be, the trail slowly becomes a little bit more wild, a little bit more overgrown. And you can start to see in the distance what looks like dilapidated buildings that have been left to nature. So, of course, they're covered in vines, tree or grass has started to grow over it. The same thing that happens with any building when it's left to nature. Seeds get in, starts to grow, you get vines and vegetation and such and grass growing in and around the buildings, top of the buildings, from the walls, breaking apart the mortar and slowly expanding it so chunks of wall would start to fall off and fall down, causing the roof to cave in some areas. You do see, though, ahead of you in the middle of this settlement of small buildings that's been taken over by nature is a pretty steep hill with what looks like the ruins of a stone tower that you can see off into the distance. You can tell because of the jaggedness of the top of the tower that it should have another level, or another half of a level. So the whole top half of it is caved in. So it's an open air location. And of course, there's a small dirt road that's mostly overgrown. Your character, being a druid, can see that there's used to be a dirt road here at one point.
What's this? Oh, what grim?
Ooth. Oothgrim. And you can see that this road goes from houses to houses, and there's about a half a dozen to a dozen small buildings in this ruined area. It looks like that tower might have acted as like a watchtower at some point, and this was like where the barracks were for the station men that would stay here to keep track of anything trying to come out of the woods or get into the woods. Um, Other than that, that's what you see ahead of you. As an example, that is what you see ahead of you. This is the tower I'm talking about. This is the overgrown road that your character can make out. Building, 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 building. Lots of buildings. Your characters are approaching, for the most part, here, unless you wish to approach from here or here. If you wish to approach from here to here, that's going to require going back down, go around, and then come at it from a different angle.
Yeah, no.
You hear from the barbarian, now to check buildings.
One at a time. Which way first? Left or right?
He points straight, points to this building.
Yeah, but once we're done that one, do we hit that one or that one? I'm looking up to see which way is more densely covered.
The denseness is pretty much everywhere. This place is.
Yes, but if I look this way, I see 1, 2, and then probably can't see that other one behind that.
Yeah, you can see this building, you can see this building.
And then I can also see that one, that one, that one.
Yeah.
So I'm saying we go that way.
Fine. That's all you hear from the barbarian. You hear from Tybalt, we should get off the horses. If we do have trouble, I want mobility. Tybalt hops off of his horse.
Hopping off. Tethering a horse loosely. Obviously, they know not to run, but if something chases them, I'm giving them enough that they can easily pull free.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
But if he chases tethering his really hard.
Yeah.
No.
Because Jason doesn't know better.
Yeah. No. Give him some room.
Why that?
Well, they've been with us. They know we feed them. They're not going to leave unless something comes after them. If something comes after them, we need to give them enough slack that they can rip the rope and book it. It's not their fault. They won't go far. They'll just go to safety.
Okay. You see your barbarian friend starts walking towards that dilapidated house.
Shield up. Quarterstaff in hand.
He has his shield out. He has his axe out. His battle axe. When you get close to this one, it looks like it might have been a typical family's house at one point or another, but it's overgrown with everything. The foundation is still there. Some of the walls are still intact, but as you can see, it's pretty much gone. Uthgrim is just walking straight into it. Tybalt's going to follow him right behind. Is your character going to be next in line? He's actually going in to investigate the building. Are you following him in? What are you doing?
Yeah, he's leading the way, so we're supposed to be acting as a team, so we're acting as a team.
Well, you walk in, it's a dilapidated ruin of an old farmhouse from the most part from what you can find. There doesn't seem to be much in there other than vegetation and vines, and a tree has grown in the corner. The roof is caved in and long since gone. It's just pretty much the foundation and a little, 2-3 feet worth of wall here and there. That's all that's left. There's not much. gonna check around. Doesn't seem to be anything
I'm
there.
looting anything that I find.
You don't really find anything in there, nor do you find any tracks or anything, which seems to be what your barbarian friend is looking for, because he keeps checking the ground, moving leaves. Looks like he's looking for any evidence that a dragon might have stepped into this area.
I'm looking back. Tybalt,
Yeah,
let your tail swing. It'll move leaves.
he will. Even if they're all wet?
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
His tail's low enough to the ground.
And he's going to continue out. You can see that part of the wall is gone enough here. They can easily pretty much walk out anywhere you want to, because it's all ruined area. So he's heading towards this building, because this building is still intact.
1 second. Just a smidge.
Are you going to suggest going somewhere else, or are you just going to follow him to that building?
Because I said I want to go left.
Oh, he's just going to start heading towards that building. Give me 2 seconds. Like I said, he's heading towards that house primarily because that house is in much better condition.
Turning around looking at Tybalt. Okay. Let your tail hit leaves. Don't let it hit plants.
Why?
Plant monsters and zombies.
Ah, gotcha. This house looks a little bit different though. Aside from the place being in pretty good condition, the doors are actually reinforced with iron bands. New shutters have been put onto it. You can tell because the wood does not look anywhere near as aged as the wood of the door that has the iron bands that have been put on it. And the iron bands don't have any oxidization on them at all. This place has been updated. At least enough of this place has been updated to make it defensible.
Grim. I'm going to chase him because he has really good friggin' ears.
Jason's going to come over, and Jason actually starts to walk over and then heads down because he's checking for a window, which he would actually see over here. So he's going to come over to this shutter and try to make a listen check. When he hears one person and he mouths one, Grim looks to you.
Leaning over to Grim, whispering, "There's a person in there. We should all barge in at once. Startle."
Grim just takes his shield and gently touches one of the iron bands on the door.
Do the same thing as him.
Takes the shield, and he's going to attempt a strength check to bash his way in through the door.
Is there any boost I give him by following his lead and doing the same thing?
Yes, you can help others. I think it gives him an advantage. Let me double check. 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 Yes, you give him an advantage. And his strength.
Use my dice if I'm the one giving him an advantage.
And his strength modifier, I believe, is a 3 or a 4. It's a 3. Yours is 2. Yeah. So he has the advantage. Taking the advantage, that's a natural 20. That's a 23. You rolled a 9. That will actually burst the door in. The old wood splinters and flies off, making a fair amount of racket and noise. Inside, you hear a massive amount of scuffling as if someone got severely startled, and you very quickly see an older person, gaunt, white beard, looks to be in his late 40s, and is skittering back into the corner going, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Who's going to smash his way in, comes in, axes up, and he's already got the shield out like this, ready to deflect.
We meet again.
No dragons. As he puts everything down.
No, but this is the guy we were looking for. Give us a
Looking for? What? I've done nothing. I'm just here checking things out and trying to make this place safe.
Oh, bull crap.
Who are you?
You don't remember me?
No, who are you?
I started class when you got kicked.
Okay, and?
You haven't done shit
I have.
for Phandelver.
Did you not see the sign? Plant monsters and zombies ahead. I know this place is dangerous. I'm here trying to make things better.
Find a free place to live.
I'm a druid. I don't need a free place to live. I just reinforce this place to have a little bit of protection from the zombies and plant monsters. And the dragon. Dragon. So he hear from Moose for him.
Where's the dragon?
He's in the old tower. Good. Who's gonna start to turn around and walk out.
Come on.
Tybalt's like, no. Wait, big boy. Come on, big boy. Wait. Oh, whoa, hold. Tybalt braces himself. I'm as strong as you. Hold on. Out of my way, little red man. A, I'm almost as tall as you. B, I'm as strong as you. C, it's fuchsia. Now, what?
I call you pink, you tell me it's red. He says red, you say pink.
I'm kidding. Easy. Let's talk to this guy first, then we'll all go after the dragon. You go now, you're going on your own. Give us a candle drip, alright? Just a candle drip.
Yeah, right, Ulf? We'll all go.
I have no interest in taking on a dragon.
Why? You're the same level as I am.
Yeah, and that's in a very large green dragon. No, thank you. As well as there's zombies up in that area. No, here is safe. Haven't figured out a way to dispatch the dragon.
How about this? You come and help us, or I dispatch you.
What's with all the hostility? I've done nothing.
Exactly. You have not helped that town. You have not helped anybody. You cured what? A handful of people?
It's not my job to help every
You
town.
have been stealing food from them.
They gave me that food.
You have good berry. You haven't helped their fucking fields. Not a fucking help. Waste of skin.
It's not my responsibility to help every town.
Jason, you know that big spout you hold?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he doesn't move, hit him with it.
I'd rather save it for the dragon.
Okay.
Look, I'm not taking on a dragon.
Then you follow us and heal. Since it's the only thing you seem to know how to fucking do.
How about you see him shift into what looks like a squirrel and quickly runs out of a small crack in the bottom of the room.
Hey, look, Grim, food.
Already gone.
Walking around through the crack around to the other side.
He's long gone. Cowardly little druid. Tower. That's all you hear from Uthrim. Move, little red man.
Give me a second to see what he has here. I'm rummaging through what stuff he has.
There wasn't anything really in there for stuff. There are some food rations, some meats and furs that have been set up there that he's caught.
These are ours. Snatch, stuff. Hey, Grim.
Takes it, stuffs it into his belt, to his girdle.
The food? The meat?
Oh, you give him meat?
Yeah. Furs are mine now. What are they?
A squirrel, chipmunk, a hare, small game.
Shit, I can use the tails off of.
Yeah. Tybalt looks, okay. So, we know the dragon's in that tower. Let's do this smart.
I have one thing. We know the dragon's in that tower, but he said there's zombies and plant monsters. Shouldn't we clear out the rest of the area so that when the dragon comes, we don't get swarmed?
But what if the dragon's there and the dragon hears us clearing things out? Then we're dealing with that and the dragon. Too much talk. That's all you hear from Ooze Grim. Dragon's in the tower. My target is the tower. You hear from Tybalt. You know the tower is open. I say we get to the tower. We get into the tower. Try to sneak up on the dragon. And I can't believe I'm actually uttering these words. Attempt to slay it.
Or at least frighten it.
then worry about everything else in the area. You hear from Jason. It's in the tower. If we can see the tower, I want to try to put a phantasm up around it, so that way
a little bit more, please.
that's the whole thing.
Can you turn? I'm getting a forward glare. Thank you.
I want to put a phantasm up. You hear from Jason. It's a second grade spell. I'm hoping it will confuse the dragon long enough that it realizes it can't fly out.
I wouldn't count on that.
It's our only hope. Otherwise, if that thing takes to the air, we're dead. You want to know how you beat a dragon? You remove its air superiority.
Clip its wings.
If it has air supremacy, we are all dead. These ruins will not stand up to a dragon's attack. A tail whip, a wing bash, its breath weapon.
The cloud of gas.
Do any of these places look like they're airtight? Most of them are empty voids, husks of former buildings. And we have very limited long-range weapons, i.e. your magic and mine.
And his.
We will run out. Our best option is to keep it ground-based, so that way Uthgrim can attack it, we can attack it, as well as use our magic to attack it. I want to put an illusion above his head to make him believe that there's this magically summoned massive energy electrical storm above him, keeping him bound within the tower. The longer we can keep him bound within the tower, the better chance we have of survival. Illusions are my specialty. I can give it sound as well as the actual illusions, and it'll hurt him.
How? You didn't hurt with the last one.
The last one wasn't a second grade spell. This one is. That'll be my first ploy, my first action. Are we done talking? You hear from the barbarian.
Believe so.
Good. And he starts to walk up this path, and he's making a beeline for this tower. He's not running. He's not that stupid. He is trying to be somewhat stealthy about his motions. Tybalt will follow in the attempt to be kind of stealthy and quiet. Are you? D20 plus your dexterity modifier. Perfect. You almost done with that?
Almost.
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 Almost. One unconscious dog. Two unconscious dogs. Ah. Well, while you finish that, I'm going to take a quick run to the washroom because...
Wait, see how long we are now.
We are at an hour and 19 minutes.
Alright, the